Okay, guys. For this video, we're going to go over the final example here. And it says they actually just want you to identify which one is basic, which one is binomial, and which one is CLT. There is actually one of each on these, so it should go actually pretty quickly. For number one, it says Mr. James received a first kiss, ooh la la, on 8 of his 9 first dates in spring of 2014. Don't ask about the other one. If he goes on 10 first dates in summer, what is the probability that he gets 8 or more first kisses? All right, well, this one should immediately trigger vomiting in you, but if it does not, you should be able to figure this one out pretty quickly. The big clues here are that we have a ratio. In the very beginning, it says 8 of his 9 first dates. That means that he was successful, this Mr. James, that isn't me, on 8 of his 9 first dates. Well, if we wanted to solve this, we'd probably start by taking this 8 and dividing it by 9, which of course 8 divided by 9 gives us a bunch of 8s. So essentially 89%. So there's a ratio here, and that should tell you immediately we're talking about a binomial. In addition to that, we could also think about this experiment of his on the 10 first dates as being somewhat of a success versus failure ratio. So we're saying, what if 8 of the 10 happened? And so a success would be if he went on a first date and got a first kiss, whereas a failure would be if he did not. So there's a lot going on here, but all of it really points to binomial. All right, if we look at number 2, it says Farmer Richard has chickens. Good for you, Farmer Richard. The average chicken lays 5.3 eggs per week with a standard deviation of 1.5 eggs. What is the probability that a randomly selected chicken will lay 6 eggs or more in a week? Well, let's try not to overthink this one. First off, you should probably notice they never mention through all of this that there's a sample size being taken. If they don't mention a sample size, you're probably dealing with basic because sample size isn't important for basic. In addition, they give you an average, a standard deviation, and a single x. Most importantly, though, it says what is the probability that a randomly selected chicken, so this is singular, it's talking about, okay, well, if I choose a random chicken, what's the probability that this chicken is going to lay 6 eggs or more in a single week? So it's only one chicken being selected, which tells you, hey, this is basic. Finally, we know that this one's going to be CLT. We know it because process of elimination, and I told you that there was one of each. But let's go ahead and take a look at it and read it and figure out why. On a 100-point scale, the wines produced in Lodi get an average score of 89.4 with a standard deviation of 4.3. If 36 wines are selected from the Lodi area, what is the probability that the wines score an average of 90 or above? So the main thing you should probably be reading into this is the very last sentence. It says, what is the probability that the wines score an average of 90 or above? And average is the word you really want to look at. The main difference between this one and number 2 is that in this one, we're talking about a given sample and we're talking about comparing averages. We already know what the average of all wines is because that's listed right here. What we don't know is what the average of these specific 36 wines is going to be. And we're approximating that it'll probably be close to this 89.4, but what if it was 90 or above? So we're comparing averages. Anytime that you are comparing averages, we're talking about Central Limit Theorem, which is why this one is CLT. That is actually going to conclude this video. Thanks for watching.